Age of the Primes Waspinator, or Wasp. Plastic is back. And because I'm filming this back to back. Yeah, so Legacy United. Well, all of Legacy except for those few repaints from Kingdom that Walmart had at the beginning. Had no plastic windows. And now the plastic window is back with Age of the Primes and the current Studio series. I do believe that was a cost-cutting thing. That was not a environmental thing. I'm all for cutting down waste, but I'm also in favor of, I want to see what I'm buying. I want to know what I'm buying is safe. And at Amazon, I never trusted. It was always a gamble with buying figures there, because you don't know if it's going to get crushed on the truck or the plane. And side tangent, plastic-less packaging for collector's grade figures at Toys R Us, with kids being germ factories. It sounds like a bad idea to me, but what do I know? I'm just over here saying I want my stuff to be safe. Now that rant is over. Age of the Primes is here. Till all are one. Here's a look at the 13 Primes, or some of them. Deluxe class. Fugitive Waspinator. Well, really, it's Wasp in this form. 22 steps. Here's the barcode if anyone needs it. I'm assuming that says recycle. And it's kind of ironic from Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast. If you know, you know. And I do like how there's the short version, I guess. So that's really not an Autobot. Figure to car in 22 steps, or figure to alt mode in 22 steps, 8+. I do like the new packaging. I do like that the plastic window is back, and the art looks good. And this is a repaint of animated Bumblebee from Legacy United. The only new mold to it is the head. Take a look at the weapons first. So these two are, get 2 each. A stinger and a rocket. Because it's a Bumblebee mold, the rockets are the jetpacks from when he wanted to go fast to catch Nanosec in animated. And Bumblebee stingers. I guess get this out of the way now. So for the stingers, you just saw them in the gun mode, but you can also peg them in like this. And make a unified stinger. So you want that, and then this in here. And you can peg them in together. So you can do that. And you can also attach the rockets here. This is always the tricky part. I almost lost a stinger because I had them pegged together and I couldn't get it off to save my life. Bring these out. So take a gun, a stinger, peg it in here, and then you have a handheld gun. I believe it's this way. No, it's this way. So take it, plug it in. And you have that. They're not, I don't believe they are effect part compatible from all the way back in Siege. I did like that. It's a shame that they're not really doing it anymore. And sometimes they're compatible, sometimes they're not. Depends on the mold. And now for, because I can lower the camera. And now for articulation. A head can go all the way up. And what I find odd, I'll get that in a moment. So a head can go all the way up, rotate side to side, because his chin hits not a gear, hinge. Arms can go up that far, go down, off to the side, elbow bend, wrist articulation. Can do this if you want it, or that. Waist articulation. Knee, legs can go out that far, back, off to the side. Thigh rotation, over 90 degrees of bend at the knee. And he does have ankle tilt. As you can see, it's this piece of the car is hitting this piece of the car. So it does work, you just have to push it through. I'm not really a fan of doing that because I'm always worried I'm gonna chip paint or something. He does have heels. And the toe bend. And what I was saying earlier is the head can go like that, sort of like he's flying. Head is on a ball joint, so I guess you could get 360. And then the head is on a ball joint, and that works for Bumblebee because he flew the nanobots from Nanosec into space. But he doesn't have a... Wasp doesn't have a flight peg. So that leads me to believe Bumblebee does not have a flight peg. A flight port. So... peg this in here. So you're almost there in terms of copying that scene. Need a tiny canister and a flight port for the flight stand to get Bumblebee into space. But you can't, because if Wasp doesn't have a flight port, that leads me to believe that Bumblebee doesn't have a flight port. I just find that odd. I'm just used to all Transformers, except Core Class, having flight ports. And yet I don't have a flight stand. I'm not even sure where to get one. Now for transformation. He does have a Decepticon symbol right there. It's hard to see with the purple on green. I believe he did have that in animated. Because by then he was a fugitive. So that does make sense. For transformation, you want to unpeg the chest. The head will tuck in right here. Peg in. Open the doors. Rotate. Open the doors. Rotate and close. Rotate at the waist. Tuck in the heels. Open this flap and tuck in the knee pads. Rotate. Oh. Straighten out the heel or ankle. Rotate. Tuck in the car. Tuck in the foot. And close up that flap. So straighten out the ankle. Open this panel. Tuck in the knee pad. Rotate. Tuck in the foot. Close the panel. Tab together. And you have the front of the car. And this is the part that sort of scares me. It scared me at first. You want to untab. Not sure where that's tabbing in. Here. Untab that. And then these pegs will go in here. You want to accordion the tires or the arms. Bring down. This part always confused me. Why? Okay, give me one moment. Alright, I figured it out. So up here is what you want it in robot mode. Rotate the arms down. Keep the door panels open. Accordion the arms in. Bring up. doors. So you want it like that at the end. Essentially bring up the arm, which is easier said than done. So you want it like that. So bring the arm, bring the wheel well back, open the door, peg it in like this, and bring it up. It's easier said than done. And then bring around the bumper. Want to peg it in right there. Essentially squeeze it until it's in, like so. And that is, does roll nicely. In terms of storage for the guns, go right here on the side. I think it's a decent figure. I think my biggest issue is trying to get the arms to form the door in car mode. But overall, I think it's nice. I do like how this hinge is also the fin for the car. And I'm blanking on the police officer's name from Animated. I want to say Officer Blubs, but that's the police officer from Gravity Falls. And everything fits together nicely. The paint is good. Transparent plastic could break in the future, who knows? Everything hides away nicely. And I like it. I would say it's worth the $25 price tag. Plus tax. Rolls nicely. And it's a good use of the Bumblebee animated mold. That's about it for this one.